Bob. Welcome to my humble abode. Now I live in a parking garage. I'm just kidding. My wife is practicing and nobody is here, so why not play in this big resident space where I can talk to you guys about this. So this is another trial by fire episode. Flames. I don't have it with me, sorry guys. Trial by fire, I finally got to play this on like a paying gig. And sorry for the traffic noises, guys. It's just how it's going to be for this episode of Trial by Fire. I finally got to use my 60H in a place where I got paid to play it consistently. I just did a run of Don Giovanni, the Mozart opera, one of his first, with a local opera company. It was really, really good. The company was amazing. The cast was amazing. The orchestra was really good. I kind of felt bad because trombone in Don Giovanni does not play very often. You play in one movement, 21C, you play twice, it's like 4 bars each, and then you play the last movement. This is like maybe 6 minutes total out of a 2-hour and 15-minute opera. That's how much you play in this work. Even with as little playing as I got to play this plenty. I got to play in a bunch of rehearsals, a bunch of performances. Really kind of got to get a feel for it when playing with other people, which is kind of why I do these trials by fire, because it's one thing to play the horn at home a bunch and kind of be like, okay, this is how it works. And then one thing to have people go, play these notes in time, in tune, and with other people, or you don't get paid. That's a kind of a different way to approach an instrument, right? So I finally got to do that with my 60H. And I was very pleased with it. I'm playing it with my Lasky 93D. That's this nice large mouthpiece. It's basically the same in every dimension, technically, as my Greg Black, but it just seems to have like a little more focus, maybe. I'm not sure. A little more bite to the sound than the Greg Black. It just kind of works in the Conns a little better. And I'm using it with a Brass Arc MV50 lead pipe. The MV50 is the smaller of the two 50 lead pipes they make, and in this, it gives it a little more focus. This horn needs a lot of focus because without another valve on here, without, I don't know, I guess other things, it's a very open instrument, actually. And if you have too large of a lead pipe at the front, especially the large mouthpiece, the whole thing is just kind of, whoa, and you have to make a little too much focus at the chops. Even with this lead pipe, this setup really taught me how to kind of bear down on the focus and give everything a little more point. There's my imperfect rendition of the Haydn Creation excerpt. A few months ago, I don't think I would have been able to play that on this at all, because if you use the same kind of articulations that I use on my Bach, where I just kind of, they're kind of heavy, maybe a little bit slower, and they sound pretty good on that instrument. If I use the same kind of articulations on this, it just doesn't work. It just, the whole instrument just does not respond to that as well. It has to be very much smaller and more pointed to really kind of get that idea across. Pretty good fake C right there. There's also a large sound difference, and this is to be expected, between using the valve and not using the valve. So I had a bunch of C's in the staff. I tried to play those all with the slide rather than the valve. Comes down to the articulation. The sound doesn't, it changes a little bit. It's noticeable to me. It's really, the articulation is a lot easier when you're using the farther out positions rather than the valve. So that's something that might be a little bit of a drawback. That's something you're going to get with an instrument with a smaller rotor valve like this, and it's just something you kind of deal with. And I'm not too worried about it. First note of the last movement that you play is a loud B, and through the valve it worked. It was not a big deal. I didn't mind that at all. one thing that I found out, and not because there's notes in the opera like this, but the pedal range on this is awesome. I really like playing the pedal C on this instrument, kind of more than I do on basically any of my other horns. I'm not going to say that it's a very open note. It's probably less open than it is on my Bach. But the way the resistance kind of adds up with a lot of slide and a lot of valve and stuff, it kind of just makes it feel really good. And just the sound. So about the sound, one thing that was really hard to get used to on this instrument is that it has very little feedback. The feedback gets better as you play with more focus, but still, even then, if you play with the right amount of just kind of burning focus in the middle here, it still just doesn't give you a lot. And so my problem was I would play what I thought was very loud. This is going just by feel right here, playing a little D. I was playing about that loud with the Mozart orchestra, smaller orchestra with the opera. I never got the hand or anything. This is all louder moments. But it felt like I wasn't playing loud at all. I was just kind of, I was playing that going, am I making enough sound for the effort I'm putting in? It's not like it's hard to play, but I feel like I'm putting some energy into the horn. The horn just doesn't give you a lot of feedback. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just I'm used to a lot more with the Bach that I play right now, and most of the other instruments that I play. The fact was, I was playing really loud, and actually at some point I could hear my sound bouncing off of the wall across from the pit. We were in a kind of a room next to the stage, and there was a door open that went out to the audience, and I could hear my sound bouncing off that wall, and I was like, oh, I'm playing loud. Okay, never mind, no worries. I didn't really change anything about my approach after I started playing with more focus, and that was just something I kind of learned, like, oh, I'm fitting in. I got a lot of compliments from the people in front of me about the sound. It was never to the point where they're going, hey, bass drum, could you play less here? They were all just like, man, it sounds great, it feels like a real foundation. I feel like the sound on this instrument is very warm, it's very broad. I mean, it's just kind of what these horns sound like, especially when you play them with a larger mouthpiece, which what they're not really designed to do, but it honestly still works pretty well with this instrument. I really, maybe it's not the perfect setup for Don Giovanni, but nobody complained. The music director loved it. The bassoonist who doubled a lot of things with me loved it. So I was overall really happy with this. I was really happy to get the chance to play this with a group. I'm probably not going to keep it forever just because I've had this for like months and months and months, and I finally had one time to use it with a group. And I just feel like I probably won't get a lot of other chances like that. I would like to play it with a trombone section because there were no other trombones. It was just me, trumpet, and two horns. I'd love to get it to play with other trombones, but even then I feel like this probably wouldn't blend perfectly well with a lot of other instruments, and that's just how it is. So there we go, trial by fire of the Conn 60H. Sorry for all the traffic noises. I've also been super busy at my new job where I play trombone for money. Yes, people actually do that. And I have one of them now. I might fill you guys in later. I'm not sure if I should keep it a secret or not. But yeah, trial by fire of the 60H. I hope to upload some more videos soon, but I'm still very busy. I just have a little bit of downtime right now after the end of Don Giovanni. See you guys next time.